This is my compact Presario A900. Got this for free a while ago. And it's basically, it functions as the back end for my live streaming broadcast. It's the final machine in the audio chain, and it is what I use to both record, broadcast to a secondary site, or to a Nicecast server, and I also use it to monitor the stream. However, the Windows Vista that this thing is certified for is, well, Windows Vista. While it's alright, I guess, it's certainly not ideal. So I decided to use this thing as a test bed for Windows 10. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So, it's just going to be quick. There's not going to be much to this. Hopefully it starts. There it goes. Alright, let's get this stuff out of the way so I can sit down and actually look at this. Alright, let's see. Alright, I'm trying to fiddle with that. So you can see just how long it takes to start up. Ooh, that's bright. This screen, I'm not quite sure what they call it. I'm going to take a look at that in a second, but it's supposed to be some automatic thing that's supposed to display information, you know, on the sides and whatnot, and I don't see any of that. It's just basically a winding river with a picture. There's not much to it. Press that, or if we press anything, we get taken to the logins. Let me enter my password here. I'm trying to do this in one take. I don't know if it's going to end up working out. It's supposed to say welcome, and it does say it for a second. But, you can see it just disappears. And it takes a while to log in, although that's not too bad. We can see this is what the desktop looks like. I do have the Windows XP background on here, mainly as a joke. You can see that taskbar does have color in this, the latest build, 10.130. However, it doesn't have that by default, and you have to turn it on. One of the big selling points of Windows is the well, not the taskbar, but the start menu. You can see this is what it looks like by default. Now, I have one problem with the start menu, and just one problem with it. I'd like there to be an option. I don't know what that was all about. I'd like there to be an option to get rid of all of these tiles if I wanted it. I mean, I don't care, I can get used to this, but it'd be nice if there was such an option. I don't know what this is right here. Here's another bug that I'd like to point out. What the heck is this? Where's my mouse? Here's my mouse. I don't know what this is. You can see looks like it's some kind of communication application. But if we try to open it up, you can see it opens up for a second and then disappears. Which brings me to another bug. None of these Metro applications, or Modern UI, or whatever the heck they're calling it at this minute, pops up an error message when it crashes like that. It just disappears. You know, what the heck? It'd be nice if it actually gave me some information as to what happened. I could, if I really wanted to, probably go in and search the event log, but I'm not that dedicated. It's just the issue. It should pop up an error message for somebody to see. And maybe it will in the final build. I don't know. I don't know if this is the latest build. It certainly is the latest one that I could install. This down here is the weather app. It's not very informative as to what it does, just says cloudy. But I guess one could deduce that's exactly what's going on. A whole bunch of applications here. Let's see. What does this Explore Windows Get Started thing do? Aha. That's a nice feature. Tells you all about the stuff that's new, or all the things that you should need to know about Windows 10. That's real neat. I've never even seen that before. Good plus on that one. Another plus is the multiple desktops deal. So you can create multiple different desktops if you really wanted to. And all that. That's real nice. I like that feature. That could be real handy. I haven't had a reason to use it yet. But, so we're going to go ahead and try it out now. Go to Desktop 1. Open up one web browser, which is Pale Moon, my old standby. Which seems to take a while to open. And oh yeah, here's another bug. Pale Moon is not currently your default browser. If I go and hit yes, it tells me that I need to change my default apps using the settings. I'd love to know why something that worked in prior versions of Windows, just by clicking a button like that, doesn't work now. I don't understand that, but whatever. I'll probably go in and change that later. So go over to our task view here, go over to another window, and we will open up the new web browser, Project Spartan, which in prior builds that I have installed on this system, it just crashes. You can see it brings up my website, which is the last page that I was at, which is pretty neat. In fact, let me go take a look at something here. Where's the about? There it is, I guess. Project Spartan. Alright, so we'll go back to our task view, and you can see they are totally independent of each other. It doesn't even show up as being running. So I'd imagine what I can do... No, I guess not. It just takes me over to this, which is alright. That's understandable. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And I'm actually going to point out another problem that I've got with Windows 10. What's my user agent? User agent string of a web browser. Let's take a look. It's taking a while to load here. You can see Windows NT 10.0. Really? Really? Come on. Let's be honest about ourselves here. It's not Windows NT 10.0, it's Windows NT 6.4. Make use of your Windows NT number. Although I can see why they don't want to do that. Why don't they just call it Windows 10.0, because that's what it is. It just makes everything a little bit more confusing for people. Alright, what else did I want to point out? I think the last thing, really... Actually, it's not quite the last thing, but we've got the, this thing right here. I have a major problem with this. Frequent folders. Let's take a look here. Why is that there? This compact system reserved. Why does that exist? Why is that pinned to my frequent folders? It used to be, when I first set this up, that the Windows folder was pinned here. How and why? And you can see I've manually added a couple of things myself to make it a lot more usable. One nice thing, I guess, that you could point out here is recent files. That's a neat thing to have. I do like that. But it shows 20 recent files. I'm sure there's been more than 20 recent files. This PC, I've never understood why these folders are separate in this PC. Why not have a little thing, like, and this is going to sound bad, why not have something like the Macintosh or Linux on the sidebar here that has your username and shows all these folders? Make it much easier. I really do like that approach, and I wish Microsoft would adopt it, because it works well, and it's not confusing. Anyways, move on with that. And the last thing I'd like to point out about Windows that is confusing is the presence of two entirely different control panels. This is a problem with Linux. Why do we need two different control panels that look entirely different who have features that overlap? Like, I mean, if we take a look here, I guess they removed it. Let's see. It's not here anymore, but there used to be a personalization. There it is, personalization. Right there in this control panel. Go over here. System personalization. It's right there. Second one. There's two of them. Why? Somebody explain to me why this was a good idea. I don't understand that. That's what I don't understand about Linux, is that they've got multiple control panels and settings sometimes overlap, but they've got them spread out. You know, there's no Windows Update in this control panel right here, but look, it's right there. I really, really, really hope that Microsoft manages to amalgamate these two control panels in the final release. That would make it much more simple. I don't care if they have to use this metrofied one. If they have to use that, so be it. I'd rather there just be one, because it's less confusing for users. Anyways, with that all being said, what I need works. Audacity works, my microphone works, my headphones work. That did not used to be the case. When Build 10.130 first came out, the internal microphone on this compact was broken. Didn't work. You couldn't listen to it, and you couldn't record from it. Audacity was broken. Couldn't do anything with it. It wouldn't detect any of the sound devices, even though they were present and some of them even worked. And what happened is I tried downgrading back to 10.122, which was decent, but the start menu broke. Same problem that V Westlife was having. Wouldn't open up the start menu, and I couldn't type in the little search thing that's down here. This little thing right there. Although actually it's a little bit different. I guess that's Cortana. But that was broken. You know, it's simple crap like that. It's just broken. And the sad thing is these are still problems for some people. You know. And this is going to be probably the most controversial thing I've said about it, but bookmark my words. Windows 10 is going to suck when it first comes out. Then again, so did Windows XP. So did Windows Vista. So did Windows 7. Yes, Windows 7 sucked when it first came out. And so did Windows 8. Windows XP Service Pack 2. Windows Vista Service Pack 2. Windows 7, first couple of updates for Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 fixed the majority of the problems, if not all of the problems, that all of those operating systems had. Made it good again. Windows 10.1 is going to do exactly the same thing, and Windows 10.2 is going to fix even more problems. It's just going to be that way. When it first comes out, it is going to suck. And, you know, all of these people, I'm going to say it right now, all these people who are saying, oh, it's a beta! It's going to have these problems. It shouldn't be having all of these issues for all of these people this close to the release date. I'm sorry. You know, it may work almost perfectly fine for me. It may work almost perfectly fine for you. But it doesn't for everybody. And that's a big problem. And Microsoft is trying to make this the largest adoption of a Microsoft Windows release ever. And I have a strong feeling, even though I like to be optimistic about it, I'd like to think that it's not going to suck as bad as some people are pointing out. But I have a strong feeling that there is going to be a lot of negative reaction to Windows 10 when it first comes out. One thing that a lot of people are pointing out is the flat user interface, and I'm going to, you know, get away from that a little bit because I think it's better. Arrow is pointless. Especially now that a lot of people are using computers. The reason for the glass user interface in the first place was so that computers could look less daunting to people. You know, make it look all nice and pretty and easy to use and all that stuff. Now that everybody's got a computer, there's no reason for that, and Windows Arrow takes up way too much memory and way too much CPU time. So this new UI is actually better, as far as I'm concerned, although they could make it better than it is by adding some depth to it. That'd be nice, but I guess what we've got is what we're going to have to deal with. Maybe they'll make that better in Windows 10.1, I don't know. But either way, there's my thoughts and opinions on Windows 10. If you've got any questions or comments, do feel free to leave them down below. This is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Until then, watch it chip down here. Which seems to take a lot longer than it should as well. There's another thing I'd like to point out. Windows 10 doesn't seem nearly as fast as 8.1 was. But I guess that's because they're adding new features and all of that, and making it less tablet-like.